Okay, now you can see that here now I'm going to be creating a new folder that we are going to be using for our first class. And that folder I told you is called the root folder. Remember? Can you still hear me? Can you hear me?
So you said the folder is called what?
Root folder, root folder. The folder I'll be creating, that is this folder I'll be creating is called root folder. For it, I want to create a new folder now. You can see the folder, right?
Okay.
I want to name it
Yes.
web dev class. You've seen it, right? So inside, I'm going to be creating another folder. Going to be creating another folder. And I'll name this one IMG. Which means this is where our image will be, the website image will be. So I'm going to close this. Now, this folder now, I'm going to right click on it. Hope you are following. Are you following? Okay. I'm going to right click on it. Then
Yes, sir.
I open the folder with VS Code. Hope you are following. Are you following? I'll open the folder with VS Code like this.
So I can barely hear you. The connection is poor again.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Hello? Yeah, it's from your end. But you can see that my VS Code is open now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I know I just open, this image is what I open, I right click on it and I open with VS Code.
Yes, sir.
Then from here, we have a new interface like this. Then here now, we just come here. Remember, this arrow need to be facing down so that the file will be
Yes.
creating will be inside the root folder, not this one. As this one is facing down now, it means the file will be inside this folder, and this is our IMG folder. So I need to close it so
Okay.
that once it's facing this way means it's closed. So the file need to be inside the root folder, and I'll come to new file. I will say index. Sorry. Index.html. Enter. So automatically this index.html will notify this program, that is this VS Code, that the environment you want to work on should be HTML environment. Because with this VS Code, you can do a lot. You can program any type of program on it. But you have to let it know the type of program you want to work on. If it's CSS, it can work on CSS. If it's HTML, let it know you are working with HTML. If it's JavaScript, let it know you are working on JavaScript. So by creating this
Yes.
index.html, it means you are working with HTML. We can have another file here, like I'm going to create another one now. There's a mistake here, and I created this file in a wrong.
Under the IMG.
Yes, so I have to close it. So So now, after closing it, I just create direct. After closing it, I just click here. So look at this error so that you understand it. After closing it, I just come to
Okay,
this
sir.
place and create a file directly, which is why it automatically opened the folder again. Did you see it? Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but the proper way is
Yes, yes, I can see.
the proper way is after closing it, click here so that once this green line is showing, it means you are inside the root folder. So now I can create the new file, index.html. Remember, see that and contact. Are you seeing it now? It's now inside the
Yes,
root folder.
yes.
Inside this root folder, we can create another one and say contact dot html. Then we have about dot html.
Yeah.
Now, which simply means that every page in your website has to be, first of all, structured with HTML, styled with CSS before any other action, because JavaScript is what gives it action. For instance, if you take a doll baby, that is the doll baby that people that we sells clothes used to use now. You wear it a cloth.
Yes.
That doll baby now is the structure that HTML gives. Then that cloth that is wearing is the CSS. Then if you want that baby to raise his hand, that force you apply to it for it to raise his hand is a force that JavaScript does. So each program has their own function. The CSS is to style it, to make it look beautiful, which is the cloth and the color, the painting. Then the CSS is what gives you the structure. That is the body structure, how you want that website to be. Hope you are getting it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we go back to HTML, which index. This index is the first thing that carries every other part of the website. So we go back to this index now and we activate our programming interface. Now, how do we activate this programming interface? I showed you 3 ways to do it last time, right? The first one, you use your shift 1, which will give us, you see this sign, this sign that you are seeing, right? Then strike enter.
What sign, sir?
Shift plus I. You can use your jotter. Make sure your jotter is there so that you can.
Okay, sir. Please,
So here and I say that, remember, let me delete this again. I told you to get this, use your shift plus 1, letter 1, which will give you this sign. The moment this sign comes, you strike your enter key.
Shift.1.
No, shift plus. That is, you press your
shift plus 1. Yes, sir.
yeah.
Sorry, sir.
So
Shift
that is 1. I delete this. Then the next one is you just type HTML. Then you select this HTML5. Did you get, before you write, just follow the screen.
HTML5.
Wait, just HTML. It will show you this example, these options. Select the HTML5.
Okay.
Now it automatically activate this. Then the third one, which is DOC, enter. See that the 3 of them are the same. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So after activating this, the next thing we do is what? Look at this place now. Now, this place now, this heading now is known as this is an opening tag. This place now is an opening tag. Why here is the opening tag of this one? Can see HTML. Then the class here is the language. This place now is language. This LANG is language, which now English. We are working with English. Now, this is the
Yes, sir.
programming language we are using. Then this one is the head. Here is the head of the website. Now, this one, hope you are following.
Yes, sir.
This one and this one is what holds every structure of the website. Then this one now is the opening tag. Here is the closing tag. Now, how do you know an opening tag and a close tag? Let me say I want to type paragraph here. Let me just type paragraph. I'll just type P and enter. Let me expand it so that you see. Now, this is the opening tag that has this. Let's say I want to do it manually now. I will just use shift this, then P, then shift this. Are you getting it? It has automatically completed by itself. But this plate that is
Yes, sir.
blinking now, anything I want to type will have to be inside that thing that is blinking. Then this one is an opening tag. If I should say now, let me just type this something here now. Say welcome to my website. You can see it. Then this I'm going to open with a live server now. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Which of the screen are you seeing? The VS
I
Code.
can see. I can see.
Is it the VS Code?
Yes, sir. The VS Code where you write, where you just type "Welcome to my website."
Okay, okay. I wanted to see the browser, what I just typed now. Have you seen it? Welcome to my website. Have you seen it?
Yes, sir.
This is the
Yes,
result
sir.
of what I did. This is the result of what I did on the VS Code.
So, sir, sorry.
Okay.
From the top where you input documents, like you input DOC, you
Yeah.
entered. But do you mean to say that if I can either go with Shift+1, or I can go with HTML5, or I can go with documents, and I
Yes,
will get the
yes.
same result?
Yes, yes. To activate this
Okay,
place, this
sir.
is the head.
Okay,
To activate this before you start coding, is either you use the Shift+1
okay, sir.
or use the HTML5 or use the DOC enter.
Okay, sir.
Both of them are three
Okay, sir.
give you the same result, but just in three different steps.
Okay, okay.
So I'm still explaining what this thing means. Once you see
Mm.
this less than and greater than covering a write-up, it means that place is an open tag. Then once you see the same less than greater than covering the same, let's say this is a P, which is paragraph, and we have less than greater than covering the last one with a slash. That slash is what indicates that this place is where this closing opening tag ends.
Okay.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is a then this place now, this place that is showing document. I'm just trying to take a brief things here before we go back, because we need to let you know what HTML tag means and all this stuff before we start building. This
Okay.
place now is where it's going to show the title of the website. Let me say this place now. I will type, let me say I want to type Michi Infotech. Now, if I should go back here, let me view the okay. Now, are you looking at this place?
Yes, sir.
That is showing the title, which is the title of the website, not the address. Remember, this one is still showing. Look at the address that is showing, which means it's a local hosting. If it's a site that is already online, it will show the www.thatmeetinginfotech.com. Now look at that
Okay, sir.
index. Look at that index with types.
So,
Index.html.
yes,
Are you seeing it? Which is
yes,
why
sir.
I told you that that index.html is the first page that every website loads, and before it loads every other thing. So when you type
Okay,
www.facebook.com, it will first of all go to index.facebook.com before it load every other part of the Facebook.
okay,
So that is
okay,
how it works.
okay.
So let me go back to that side. So that is the title. Then I told you this one is the closing tag for this opening tag. Why here is an opening tag, and here is the closing tag for the body. Remember, the body is where the body is the place that will carry everything you are coding. All your language, your program, all your code will not exceed from here to here or here. Let's say at the back here. See where my cursor is blinking? It will not exceed from
Yes, sir.
here or here from here. So I can start coding from here, or I can just bring my line of code down. But it will not exceed from here to here, because this one hold all the house, while this one hold the body. Hope you are still following.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just hold on a bit. Okay, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Hmm? I'm coming.
Okay, sir.
So let me remove this first. Okay, now let's look at the brief meaning what HTML stands for. Now, like I told you before, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, right?
Hypertext.
Markup language.
Okay.
Hypertext Markup language. I think our this lecture now will end in 9 minutes times. So we'll join back once it ends. Don't forget to.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Now, two, HTML is a standard markup language for creating web pages, which means every web page has to have a HTML structure. Every web page needs to have HTML structure. Three, HTML describes the structure of a web page. The structure of a web page is described through HTML. For instance, before somebody will start building a house, he first of all do something like drawing. That is
Yes.
Yes, that is what
Plan.
HTML does. Yes. So is what describes the structure of the website.
Website. Yes, sir.
Now, let's take a little explanation of these headings here.
Okay, sir.
Now, the first one is this one, the doc type, which is that place we type DOC. You can write it doc type, DOC, then TYP. That is doc type.
Yes, sir.
Now, this doc type declaration defines that this document is an HTML document. So that is, like I said before, that is what tells this VS Code that this document we want to create is an HTML document, so that he will know how to structure the interface, so that he will give us the feature that we need. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
You said?
No, so I'm trying to like hear what you said. He said this document defines that the certain document is a
This doc type declaration defines that this document is an HTML document.
Yes, sir.
Then the next one is this HTML here. This HTML here.
Okay.
Now, this
Yes, sir.
HTML element is the root element for the HTML page. The root element of an HTML page. The root element of an HTML page. Are you following? Then the
Yes,
next
sir.
one is the head. This head here. The head here. Remember this root element. Remember, this is the opening tag, right?
Yes.
And here
Yes.
is the
Yes, sir.
closing tag. Then this
Yes, sir.
head here has an opening, which is here, and here the closing tag.
Sir.
So the head here, the head element contains meta information about the web HTML page. The head element contains meta information about the HTML page. The head element contains meta information about the HTML page. Are you seeing it? Now, here you see that
Yes,
this is a meta. Now, this place now, maybe on another next class, we'll talk more about this Meta Chesed UTF-8. This is the highest version of web development programming language. It's the highest version. So we'll talk about this later, but both including this place, we'll take another day to explain this more. Then this place now, we have another element here called title here, which I've explained before. The title element specifies the title for the HTML page. The title element specifies the title for the HTML page. Now, which is shown in the browser title bar. This title is shown in the browser title bar, like I told you before. I've showed you before where the title shows. This title shows not the web address, but the title of the website, right?
Yes, sir.
Then the next thing we have, this is the closing of the head. And the next one we have is the body element. Now, the body element defines the document's body. The body element defines the document's body. Also, it is a container for all the visible content. It is a container for all the visible content. such as headings, paragraphs, image, hyperlinks, and table. Hyperlinks, table, list, etc. Such as headings, paragraphs, images, hyperlinks, tables, lists, and etc. Which means what this body means here, this body you are seeing now, this place from here to this place now, what it means is that if for anything to show on your website, it must be in between this body. For anything to show in your website, be it image, hyperlink, audio, video, for it to show in your website, it must be in between the body element. Then this one here now is now the closing tag of this HTML element, the root HTML. This is the closing tag. Now we have another element which is called H1. H1. Now this H1 element defines a large heading. H1 defines a large heading. And this H1, we have H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. H6 is the end. Inside this H6, you may want to wonder, maybe the H6 will be bigger than the H1. No, it is opposite. The H1 is the biggest. Let's say the font, when you are typing on Microsoft Word, we have by default, it comes on 11, right?
Yeah.
So when you go to font 24, it's bigger than that font 11, right?
Yeah.
But on this program, on this coding language, the bigger the font, the smaller, the bigger the size of the font, the smaller the font. So
Okay.
H1 is the biggest, followed by H2, followed by H3, followed by H4. Then the H6 is the smallest font when you are using your font.
Okay.
So, these fonts, even though you use H6, that is the smallest, you can still use your HTML to make it look bigger than that H1. That is styling.
Okay.
So it's not a must that when you use that H6, that is how it's going to be. No, you can still change the behavior of that language.
Okay.
Now, there's something I want to show here now, which is so this class now is going to end in less than a minute. So after that, you can join back. So the next thing we are going to be looking at is tag. The tag. And this tag is